Hey guys, AP here, and today we are going to be continuing our HTML game series with some input for our player. So now that we have this player object and we can actually see it, why can't we just control it with the keyboard or the mouse? It doesn't matter. I'd say the keyboard's pretty good with this. So to do that, we need to add an event listener for every time a key is pressed. So to do that, we need to add an event listener to the page or the document or the window or whatever, but I'm just going to add to the document. So we're going to say document, which is a global variable in all of JavaScript. You don't need to have any scripts for that. And then you got to say dot add event listener. So we're just going to put that. And in here, we're going to have a few event listeners. We're going to have key down, which it knows I'm going to do because I don't know, it just does. And so document.add event listener, and then we're going to have ourselves a little lambda function, as it's actually called, and not just a one-time function. Stupid Alex from 2 years ago. So we're actually going to do the ES6 lambda function, which is whatever the parameter is, which is going to be the event. Then we need an equal sign, a greater than sign, and then the curly brackets where our function is going to be. And now this will create a one-time function. If you don't have any parameters, you can just use like some parentheses, and that will work too. But there's not really. We have to have an event so we can actually get our key. So after we do that, we need to get the key. So with the new event listeners, it actually returns, or the new key down event listener, it actually returns the key pressed and not a key code. So that means it's a character instead of a number. So we have to say key for a global variable that we can plug into functions is equal to a string. So then once we do a key down, we have to say key is equal to event.key. And so with that, every time we do it, I'm just going to say console.log key, console.log key. Every time we click on here, we're going to have a key, either whatever press. So I just pressed A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M. We can do that whole alphabet. You can even do Shift. It doesn't do specific arrow. Have some arrows over here. Some numpads work. Normal. Space works. Alt works. Does Meta work? Meta doesn't work, or the Windows key is what it's actually called, but does escape work? Escape works. So yeah. So basically, this is all you have to do. So with this, we are going to create another function in our player called get input, and it's going to have a parameter called key, obviously, and we're going to have to do a bunch of if statements. But before we do that, we actually need to add movement to the character. So right under our show, we need to have update, because why would you put your update loop in the show loop in the same one? Anyways, so in our constructor, we're going to add a few more variables. One is going to be called this dot velocity. I'm just going to velocity. Actually, I'm going to spell that. And that is going to be equal to another array. But for right now, it's going to be 0, 0. And so what happens in update is we add the position, we add velocity to the position. And so for right now, it won't do anything because velocity is 0. So to actually do that, we have to say this dot position dot 0 plus equals this dot velocity dot 0. And I know there's a way to do it to where you can have like this position for each and then add like for that, but it's only two things. It's not going to be that much. And so we're also going to do the same for y's. So what happens, of course, is, well, I never called the update, so nothing actually will happen. But so if I call update, I don't need a parameter for this one. Nothing happens because there's the velocity is 0. So what I can do and get input is actually change that with whatever key I pressed. So if key, and it's a string, we don't have to remember any numbers. If key is equal to a, then we are going to set the velocity of the x to negative whatever our speed is. We can also have a speed variable to whatever it is. So this dot speed, let's say, is 5. So we're going to say this dot velocity of 0, which is the x component, is equal to negative this dot speed. And we do that for all 4 directions. So let's have a bunch of these. And then if key is equal to D, set it to positive speed. If key is equal to W, that means we're on the Y now, so we have changes to the Y. And since we're going up and in programming up is negative, we're going to have this to negative speed. And then for S, it's also going to be Y, but it's going to be positive speed. We have to say positive. So with that, we need to have to do player.get input, and we put whatever the key is. And get key. And what happens is that every time I press key, as you can see here, it's moving it in the right direction, as you can see, but it's not stopping it. So this is because we never add a key up event listener. So all it's doing is looking for key downs, but it's never looking for key ups. So we need to add that. Just let that go off into space. Woo! And so we need to have another event listener. It's going to be quite similar, except it's just going to be key up. So I actually do want to have the same where every time the key goes up, the key is going to be set to the event key. And I'll just get rid of the console.logs because we don't need it anymore. So now we have to update our player input. So now we're going to add another parameter that says, is the key down or is the key up when we're getting the input? So we also need to say state. So if state is equal to true, so just if state, that means the key is pressed, then we're going to do what we was doing before, and we're just going to say if that. And then else, if we just let go of the key, we need to set the velocities to 0. So we can say if key is equal to A, or we can actually combine these together because A or D, no matter what you release, it's going to be, the X is going to be equal to 0. So if key is equal to the D variable, we're just going to get rid of this one. We're going to set the X velocity to 0. And similarly with the Y's, if key is equal to W or S, which is what changes our Y, we want to set the Y velocity to 0. So now we have to have another variable called here, and it's just say state is equal to false. False by default because, I mean, you're not going to press a key immediately when the program starts, or you're just weird like that. And so in our event listeners, we can actually set the state. So state is equal to true, and state is equal to false. Basically, if the key is down, state's true, key up, state's false. And let's add that to our get input. There we go. And now if we go in here, we go right, and we let go of it, it stops. We go left, it goes up. Now we can actually move our thing around. And so, yeah. So we have ourselves a moving rectangle. It's looking pretty good, if I do say so myself. And we can do a bunch of other things with this. So obviously that's going to be it for this tutorial. It's been a lot to get in with the input. In the next tutorial, I might be doing a different type of input, and might be doing mouse input to get the X and Y, and if the mouse is pressed or not. And so yeah, I'll see you then. If you like the video, make sure to like the video down below with a thumbs up or thumbs down if you didn't like it. Really helps the channel if you thumbs it down, so please do that. And if you subscribe, it'd be good as well. So I'll see you guys in the next tutorial. Bye.